What's up everybody, this is MJ360. I'm going to be showing you guys a video setup tutorial on how to set up this converter PSP to HDMI 720p to 1080p with the Elgato game HD capture. Okay, now as you can see, everything is not plugged in. I'm going to be giving you guys the full hands-on setup here. So without further ado, I'm going to start off setting this up. Alright, so first, before we start showing the plugs and everything, I'm going to show you guys what's on the back of this. Let me put this in the face of my camera because that's the only way it's going to focus here. Sorry about that. Alright, there we go. That autofocus. As you can see here, you got game in 720p/1080p. Now the 720p/1080p, this is what you call the resolution switcher. This is exactly what you want to see on your box. If you do not see this on your box, then you probably bought a cheap version of this that only does 720p, or you probably bought a cheesy knockoff copy. This is what you want to see on your box. This will allow you to change resolutions at will by a press of a button. Okay, but when you buy this will automatically be set to 1080p. So if you don't have a TV that supports 1080p, you're going to have to press this switch one time and it'll go back, it'll de-resolution itself to 720. Alright, so let's talk about this game in. Now the game in cable looks like a VGA port, but it's really not. Okay, this is what the cable looks like. Alright, this is what I call a component in VGA form. So that's really what I would call it, because PSPs only support component as an input source. So, but this is really a component in VGA form. That's all I like to call it. Alright, so let's go ahead and plug this thing up. It's really not rocket scientist, it's pretty easy if you own a PC. Want to make sure you screw this in tight as possible. Alright, feels like it's in good. Okay, so that's all taken care of. Now what's on the other side of this cable is this. This plugs into your PSP. Again, this does not support 1000 models because of its poor design. This only supports to 2000, 3000, and PSP goes. Okay, that's what this supports. Now this little circle button right here, this is your full screen button. This is how your games will be played in full screen. So in order to play in full screen on your TV or an HD TV, you have to press this button one time, because when this comes out of the box, it's not in full screen. So you're gonna have to press this button to make it full screen. Only the X and B will be in full screen, but the game will not. So you have to press this button in order to do that. There's a little text here that says zoom. So this is really your zoom in button here. So don't freak out when you play your game for the first time when using this and it's not full screen, because I freaked out and I was like, what? I got ripped off. But no, I didn't read the instructions. You have to press this button to make it full screen. Okay, we'll get into that later once everything is set up. Right now we need to focus on plugging everything in. So that's the this is all you have plugged in on the back side, which is your input side. Now we're going to be going to the front side, which is the output. Alright, so let's look at this right quick before we plug anything in. Let's get that autofocus back. There we go. Alright, so you see the DC 5V, audio out, and HDMI out. Now the only thing you should care about right now is the DC 5V, which is your AC power, and your HDMI out, which is going to be your audio source as well. You don't really need the audio out, but it's there for certain people that want to use their speakers or whatever. But the only thing we need to focus on are just those two things. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our AC power. Alright, and let's put this down for a bit. This is what the AC power looks like. So you will need to find a free spot for this plug-in here. Looks just a standard AC power cord. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug that up, which goes here. Alright, and once I plug this in, the converter box should lit up red. The LED should be right next to the AC power right there. As you can see, it's right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and power this up, and there we go. If you plug this up and you don't see the light or the LED lights up, then you have a very, very bad problem. That means you got a faulty card, which can happen. It can happen. So be extra cautious. But it shouldn't be faulty because these things do come in like a good packaging. So, but just be cautious. If it does not light up, then you have a problem, because it should. Alright, now let's go ahead and get our HDMI cable, which will be the last thing we'll be plugging up on this converter box. Now this will be plugging into your HDMI out of the box. So let's go for this zoom in again. Come on, auto zoom, work with me. Work with me. Okay, it's semi-working. Alright, so you know where the HDMI cable is going to go to. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug it up. Right there. Now this cable goes from the out of this converter box in to the Elgato capture, okay? It's pretty simple. So this is the same HDMI that came from the out of the converter in to the Elgato. And then you get another HDMI cable, and this will go to the out of the Elgato and into your TV. Pretty simple. And here's your USB power source that plugs into your PC. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the basic setup for the converter to the Elgato game capture card. Now, what I have noticed, I've tested this on the AverMedia portable, which I do have right here. I did test this on the AverMedia portable, and for some reason it does not work. I get black screens all the time. There's no input at all. There's no video input coming from the converter to this. So I tried it with this. Maybe I did something wrong, but it's not working. But however, I did try with the Elgato, and everything is working perfectly. So just keep that in mind. It might not work for all capture cards. So if you do have an Elgato, I would recommend you buying this, because it actually does work with the Elgato. I can't really tell for sure if it worked for the Hauppauge or the Roxio. I really haven't tested them yet. I do have those cards, but I just haven't tested them. So I just want to throw that out there before anyone buys or spends like $70 or $80 on this thing and you can't really use it because the capture card does not support it. For some reason. I don't know why it does not, but it doesn't. So the last thing I'm going to be setting up, enough of my rambling, is the PSP itself. Voila. Okay, this is my 3000 model PSP, which I had for a very long time. And actually, this PSP started my YouTube career. So if it wasn't for this PSP, I probably wouldn't be here right now. Okay, this thing started my career. All my friends that have me on Facebook know this. Alright, so where to plug this at? Simple. Just plug it here. It should be on the same spot if you have a 2000 model. And I'm not sure how the Go looks like, because I used to own, but I forgot how the model looks like. But you should have a spot similar to that where it plugs into. Alright, so there you go. And this is an optional choice. If I can get this cord around. this is a charger. I'm using this. This is a USB charger for my PSP. It's I highly recommend you charge your PSP while playing it at the same time, because we all know how low we all know how the PSP goes out quick when you play for a long time. So I do recommend do have a charger somewhere for your PSP while this is while this is being played. Okay, it doesn't draw extra power. I just recommend it if you want to play longer hours with this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my PSP because we got to configure just one setting before we start all this on the Elgato. That is my old Centro boot that I made a long time ago. I still have this thing. Wow. So every time my PSP turns on, it'll boot that up. Only if you have custom firmware, that is. And also, you won't hear any sound because we plugged up the component cable / VGA cable into the PSP already. As you can see, it's right there. So you won't hear any sound coming from the PSP until we get the Elgato set up and whatnot. Alright, well, first of all, let me turn on my TV so all this magic can happen. Alright, here we go. So I'm gonna turn to my TV right quick because you guys need to see this. That's my TV. As you can see, it has a bunch of colors right there. That's normal. That just means that the converter is on. It's powered on. Okay, that just means that there is no PSP video input so far. So we're gonna change that in just a sec. All right. So scroll all the way to the left side of your options and go down to connected display, and also you can hear your PSP sounds coming from your TV. Alright, but you just don't have any video, but we're going to change that right now. So it says switch video output, so we're going to switch it. Make sure this is on progressive as well. Component D terminal output, make sure that's on progressive, 16.9 TV type, and we're going to switch to the TV, and your PSP should have a black screen like that. Alright, now let's switch to the TV, and there it is. Alright, the XMB will always be in full screen. Alright, so you don't need to press the zoom button to make it full screen. This will always be full screen, and this is in 1080p. So I'm gonna show you guys the magic of the resolution switcher here on the converter. As you can see right here, press this one time and the screen goes black and it changes to 720p resolution, as you can see. And I'm going to press it again to go back to 1080p. And it's back on 1080p. So that's how it works, guys. Alright? Now, second test. I'm going to do the input. I'm going to show you guys there's absolutely no input lag whatsoever for me. So the best way I could do this is by holding my PSP and look at the TV at the same time. So I'm going to just press the D-pad. No input lag, okay? Alright, now I'm going to press the X button. I'm so sorry for the camera's like so slantly position. Alright, there we go. So pay attention to my thumb and the TV. There. It just took a while for it to load, that's all. There was no input lag. So there it is. That is how the TV looks like. I want to go to an actual game because I want you guys to see the zoom in action here. Alright, so we're going to go into some Dissidia 012. Alright, here's a perfect example. This screen is the standard PSP size screen. Alright, now this is not in full screen mode. Alright, so we're going to go down here at the PSP again, and I'm going to press this button. This is the zoom button. This is the full screen button right here. So when I press this, the screen goes black, and now I have full screen on my HD TV. That's the magic. Alright? Well, I'm gonna be showing all of this again on the Elgato's perspective. This is just on my TV, but I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on the Elgato. God, I haven't played this in a while. Let's go to... Let's go watch a cutscene or something. Let's see, theater. Whoops. Okay, I turned all the lights out so the video will be, the TV will show better without too much blur. So let's start this.
Thanks to you, I seem to have regained much of what I'd forgotten. And yet, there must be more. What would happen if I cut you down? Would your fall serve to unlock even deeper memories? It's worth a try, don't you think?
Sephiroth, stop!
A little late to the party, aren't you, Cloud?
No!
Raising a blade against me? Very well. You leave me little choice.
Alright. That could have been a whole lot better looking if I just recorded from the Elgato, but I just wanted to show you guys how this looks on the TV screen in full screen. 1080p. Alright, so I will be switching over to the Elgato and I'll be doing the same thing with the full screen button and the 720p 1080p switcher. So that's it. I just want to show you guys on the TV side. Now I'm going to show you on the Elgato side. So we'll be switching over to the PC. Alright, so now that we have the PSP all set up with the PSP to HDMI 1080p converter, we're going to switch to the Elgato and basically do the same thing we did before. As you can see here, the Elgato picks up the signal as 1080p and everything is in full screen. This is in full screen mode, and I'm going to press the first I'm going to press the 720p. I'm going to switch it back down to 720p so that the Elgato can pick that up. Alright, I just pressed it. Now it's no signal. And it's redetecting the signal. So now it's back to 720p. And at the same time, as you can see here, this screen went back to normal size, which isn't a big deal because we can always press that full screen button and it'll full screen back itself. Okay, so let's do that. Let's press the full screen button. And there it is. It says zoom. So it's now in full screen. Alright. Now let's switch it back to 1080p. Alright, so it's back in 1080p in standard mode. So we're going to press the zoom button again to full screen. And voila, 1080p full screen again. Alright, so that is all I wanted to show you guys. That's all I wanted to show you. There is a, what should I say? There is a delay between the Elgato and the PSP. So I don't know if this is good for streaming or not, but the input lag is absolutely zero. At least for me. Now, I don't know. It'll be zero for you guys. It depends on your TV or whatever. I'm using a Samsung Smart HD TV, so I don't know if it has anything to do with the TVs, but that's what I was told. But I have zero input lag on my side. So let's just do another. I'm going to record this time. Well, you're not going to hear the actual audio coming from this since I muted the Elgato, but I will show you guys the video after this is done recording. Okay, that was a pretty long cutscene. Alright, so that is all I got to show you guys. That is pretty much the whole setup. That's how I do it. I'm going to stop recording because I don't know why I'm still recording. Yeah, so let's go to edit. And see that the Elgato actually has this. And it does. So the Elgato actually treats this as an actual console.
Who's sulking?
Had Laguna not taken charge, we might well never have made it this far. Perhaps his words were mostly false, but even so, they moved us, and that's why we're here.
I know that. Thanks for the refresher. Kane. Cosmos called us again. Why do you suppose that is?
Who knows?
I intend to win this fight. I win, and I get my memory back. I get to go back home. I keep telling myself that, just like everyone else. But you know, now that I've been here a while, sometimes I have to wonder if winning really means we'll get to go back home at all. If it might be that winning won't change a thing. I can't help but wonder.
What's this? Is it really possible our lightning's as human as the rest of us?
What?
Look, we've all got our worries, but we're trying to do what we can. You gonna lead us now? Or are you leaving that up to me?
Anything but that.
Don't sweat it. We'll figure something out. Long as we stay alive, things are bound to work out, right?
I trust our once wayward guide. He speaks from experience.
Thanks.
Shall we then? Relax. Our battle will not be ended so easily.
No, that it won't.
And bam, that's how it is. Alright, so to confirm that it actually recorded a video. Alright, there it is. Let me lower the volume down a bit.
Tifa? You figure they all made it to Cosmos by now?
I guess they could have. You must be tired, huh?
Yeah,
Like me.
it's all here.
I keep telling myself that.
Look, we've all got our worries.
And it
but we're
does
trying
seem
to
like it does like
Sometime.
darken the video,
figure something out.
but that's all good because we can
Things are
edit that
bound
in
to
Sony
work out,
Vegas and make it a little brighter.
I trust our once...
So that's all. That's all I wanted to show you guys. Alright, so hopefully this setup and demonstration will encourage you to buy this if you are interested in recording PSP gameplay in full screen 1080p. Other than that, I'll see you guys later in my other videos